And hello to you, my brothers and sisters, wherever you are, and welcome to episode 5 of the the spiritual awakening path. As I've mentioned earlier, in this series, I'll relate some life experiences that helped me start my awakening process, hoping that you will relate with some of these stories. And I invite you to comment below, see if you have experienced something similar. Okay, and I'll be also discussing some concepts, important concepts for all of us. As I said, the spiritual awakening is inevitable now. It is happening to all of us, whether some still refuse to see it or not. It is happening. It will eventually happen uh, to almost all of us. All right. So, and I'll in later videos I'll be hosting more people, brothers and sisters, soul brothers and sisters, to share their own experiences about awakening, so that everyone who watches these videos and this channel understand that we are all the same. We have all been abused. We have all been treated in an unfair way. We have all had all sorts of emotions are universal. They are universal. The pain, the joy, the love, all that is universal. So, regardless of what life you had, what life experiences, what type of life experiences, uh, we have been almost on a similar journey, wherever we are, and we feel the same things. That's why I wish us to all hold hands together. The more we know, because if we stay alone, brooding in our own space, and why is this happening to me, and it happens only to me and not to someone else, this is a space to show that it is happening to many, many people. And the more we know that, and the more we join hands together, the better we can help each other, because we are the ones to help one another. Sometimes people wait some external force or whatever to come and save them. That is not the case. We are supposed to help each other. And of course, we might get some external professional help, like a coach, like a therapist, like an energy healer, to give us this push. But who is actually doing the work? The self. We are doing the work. So in the previous videos, they are step by step. I go step by step. They are like lessons. You'd rather watch them from the first, the second, third, etc. The first 4 videos were long, relatively long, because I was setting the foundations for the series and I did not want to forget any important major ideas. But now I will make them shorter and more focused. They'll be more focused on certain topics. All right. So today I'd like to discuss the topic of the smallest social environment, which is our family. The family we are born into is our smallest social environment, and it influences us a lot, the family and the near environment. Now, regardless of, which family we're born, basically, right now on planet Earth, there are no perfect parents. Some of them are, let's say, close, but there are no perfect parents. Whether you have been born into an abusive family, like I was, but if they hear me say that about them, they'll go crazy and nuts, of course. They will be hostile with me, and I'll be talking about that later on, where hostility comes from, where anger and all this come from, indoctrination and all this, and fear and so on. Whether you were brought up in a very aggressive environment, you had totally unsupportive parents, the abusive parents, or this kind of things, or whether they were just nice, cool people, they didn't do much, or whether they were the opposite. They were very supportive, very wonderful, loving parents. Regardless of how our parents were, we all ended up having complexes. Now, an extremely abusive family, and sometimes it doesn't have to be physical abuse, it could be verbal abuse. And this is even more dangerous because the physical abuse, you can prove it. The verbal abuse, you cannot prove it at all. I mean, how do you tell them they told me this and it affected me? And so the very abusive family is as bad as the extremely supportive family. You might be sitting on that end, very abusive, and you might be saying, oh, no one has had a life as hard as mine. It was way too much. And when you hear people talking, it's like, my life is harder than yours and your life is easier. There isn't harder or easier. Each one of us has the challenges they need to go through. We are going, this is Earth is a school, and we are going through the lessons each one of us, each soul needs to learn. Okay, and so you might be sitting at the side of the very abusive, looking at the other family that is supportive financially, emotionally, and so on. You would say, you'd feel jealous. I mean, if I were born in a family like that, wow, what I would have accomplished. But there are things that you do not see there, and you do not know about, such as, for instance, being extremely supportive, and so all that does not allow the children to have their own wings and to expand, to have their own challenges, and even gain empathy with others. I've seen many of that. I've seen men in their 30s married with their mom who still makes their breakfast and treats them like a little boy. That's because the mother cannot detach and she takes her value from the children. We're talking psychology here. I'm not being ironic, this is pure psychology. And so say, come see if this person can help you or feel with you. No, they cannot, because they have been sort of in this protective bubble, or maybe they'd be too much ego, too much self-esteem, too much over. And on the other hand, there'd be lack of self-esteem and all this. So let us suppose now so the two extremes are not good. The middle also has its sort of issues. So no matter which family you were born or environment, you're gonna end up having complexes. And at some age and at some point, you're gonna have to say that this is my story, this is my life. What am I gonna do with it? You will no longer be looking for external. I mean, why didn't they do this to me? You cannot change them. You cannot change the world around you. You can only change how you perceive it and what you choose to feel from it. And even if you were born into really this almost perfect family, well balanced, spiritually awakened, educated, and all that, it's like this facet of the diamond, okay? Even in this family, you would be seeing only one side of it. Let us suppose you are here, you have less complexes than others. You still will have to go outside to the real world, to school, to university. You will have your first boyfriend, the second, or girlfriend, and at work. If you were totally, utterly protected, you will find that there are too much challenges out there, things that you haven't seen before, people who are deceiving, and you will have your complexes from there. And let me give you an example. For example, I had a student at university and we had a public speaking course. That student was totally, utterly gorgeous. It's like you, one of those you see in magazine covers, and her English was perfect. And when we came to the choosing the themes and the day, putting the dates for the public speaking in class, and it's graded, of course, that student reached out to me and told me that she cannot do it, she cannot stand and talk in public. From here to there, I was talking to her and I understood that as a child, she has been bullied in class, and this affected her self esteem. And oh my god, the bullying, the bullying, the bullying. And then more students came and they started sharing their problems and issues with all that. And as a teacher, although I teach graphics and I teach English, this group I was teaching them English. I was not the usual teacher in the classroom, not at all. Okay, there is the syllabus. I would consider the syllabus, but truly, sincerely, honestly, whenever I go into a classroom, I try to read the students' pains and fears. I try to, if you want, heal them. Because before I knew I was an intuitive healer. And there is another story, I'll talk about it later. So I've asked for permission from the university to close the doors of the class and book a classroom for these students. And since I took courses in theater and since I know a lot about psychology, I did my own therapy and I've studied a lot about it. So I gave them exercises where they had to shout and scream and yell and stuff like that to purge all this out. So I helped them heal. Ah, it's going to rain. This is thunder. I don't know if you can hear it. It's pretty cold nowadays. So we did all these exercises and she eventually was able to do it. So if you are from outside looking at this girl, you would not have, I mean, for 1 second doubt that she has any trauma. I mean, she has it all. What does this tell us? Regardless of where you come from, regardless of how much support or little support you had in your life, we have all had traumas, we have all had pains, and it is important if you want to step into the path of spiritual awakening, we need to clear our own hurts and wounds. And not just that, maybe you don't want to step into the spiritual awareness path. Do you want to live your life, I mean, strained, imprisoned with these feelings? And if they remain in you for a prolonged period of time, you become angry, you become bitter, and you start projecting them onto others. In my previous video, I talked about the energy and how the older we get, the more it is this energy, this pain, this hurt is stuck in us, So the sooner we deal with it, the better, but better late than never. That's what I'm trying to say in here. So from this point, then we may say we all have our hurts, or we are all lacking something. Whether you've had the traumatized family, you've had lots of lack, or whether you have had the very supportive family, maybe you would lack empathy, you'd be in too much self-centeredness. Now, the funny thing, and I was thinking about it, so I come from the traumatized family. The funny thing is that when we are traumatized, it reminded me of Aristotle when he spoke about a tragedy, how to do it. There is the beginning and then the rise and then the fall. It's a bit like that. So You are down there, broken. You need to heal yourself, lift yourself up. So you do all sorts of things to gain back self-esteem. And I'll be back. I talked about ego. I talk about it now so that your ego feels better now. Yes, I am appreciated. I am loved. I am good. And once you feel you are good enough and you are healed, let's say, and you reach that point where, you know, whatever they said, I'm stupid, I'm not beautiful, I'm not creative, you come to a point where you're proud of yourself, you're fine with your own wounds, some of them, we're not gonna say all of them, but because it's gonna take more time, more and more time and more purging, you reach a point where you are good, you regained your self-esteem, only to, this is the rise, only to, when you start entering your spiritual journey, you're gonna have to drop that ego again. You see, so you are hurt, broken, wounded, you do all sorts of things, healing, therapy, whatever you want, to lift yourself up, to be good enough, to be accepted enough so that your ego, your image would be okay and good. But then, if you are lucky enough to embark on your spiritual journey, you would realize that this ego, all these images that we were supposed to have to please society, you know, to be accepted in society, they are meaningless. You have to drop them all. And some spiritual teachers would talk about the death of the ego. Going into the spiritual journey requires the death of the ego, but I lean more towards another view. It is the enlightenment, the transcendence of the ego. It is asking the ego, now, my dear ego, we are going to shift into a higher dimension. We are much more than this 3D reality and this 3D world and what people expect from us or not. So it is ironic, isn't it? And so many, and until you have gone through that, you cannot go straight to spiritual awakening. That is, you cannot go from being absolutely broken into instant spiritual awakening. No, you need to recover the ego, and then once it's recovered and you feel good about yourself, you willingly choose to, okay, ego, now enough with the pleasing people, enough with if I'm good enough or not. I am a divine being of light. I am source on earth, you know. I am particle of source on earth. No matter what, I am precious and I am very valuable. If one moves from instantly the trauma into the jump into the spiritual journey without doing the purging, clearing, healing, feeling good about the self, you know, it would be as though something is missing. It's like I have suppressed something. I did not go through a healing, a proper healing, to accept myself as I am, to accept my pains as they are and understand everything and everyone, be proud of myself. It is important to go there and then to drop it, because if I jump, it's like those people say who have all these traumas or problems, and then they go into a sect where they humbalalala, something like that, you know, and oh, we are feeling good, and no, 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 no. Whatever you have gone through was repressed. Nothing should be repressed if you need to move on to the journey of awakening. And it is funny, it took me very, 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 very long years. So I'll talk now about my life. Very long years where I was considered stupid, I was considered not beautiful. And believe me, in my 20s, apparently I was beautiful. Not now, but well, it seems so. No one told me really. Uh, Nothing. I received no credits at all from my family. And when sadly I look at people in my family, what are people looking for actually? Why do we need to be appreciated? We need to be appreciated because we are looking to be loved. No matter what we are doing, seeking in our life, whether appreciation, whether financial success, whether I want to be this very well known spiritual guru, if there is still ego there, we are looking deep within for love. But let me tell you something. Jesus told us in the Bible, why do you look for credit from one another? You'll never get it from one another. You can only get it from God. Now, interpreted from, if you want, the language as they said it to us, it's not like that. If we interpret it with the new energies, that source is love and nothing but love, there is no judgment. And as I mentioned in a previous videos, when you embark on the spiritual journey and you start connecting with who you truly are, with your higher self, and you understand you are more than this me here that you see that does this, that looks like this or that. When you connect to creation, you start to connect to nature, to the beings of light, to your angels, to your guides, your soul tribe, and you understand how large and tremendous you are. What a fantastic being of light you are. You don't care anymore. You don't care anymore. It's just like this treasure that in the Bible I mentioned before, that when one finds and he leaves everything and he goes to the treasure, and you really don't give a shit anymore what people say. You really don't care about pleasing anybody. You really understand that you are loved regardless of how many errors you made. You are loved and supported beyond measures, despite how many times you got depressed and you couldn't get out of it so quickly. So who is doing the judgment? You are, we are. Anthony de Mello says it. Get out of this conditioning. Get out of this conditioning. I remember one of his stories that allow life to flow through you. If one man, let's say, comes into your life, or woman, and then they leave, they might break your heart. Let it be like a symphony. They come in, you play one symphony with them, and they leave. When they leave, you continue playing that symphony, and then another comes. So this conditioning, this, I don't know why we were told that we were supposed to have this one true love, and we'll find that true love, and that's it, and we'll settle. And then it's all about energy and attachment. It's all about what we have been told, and what we have been told is wrong. Maybe we were supposed to attract this one person to learn one thing, and then we were supposed to attract another person to learn another thing. And what exactly are we learning? In short, we are learning to heal our emotions and our traumas. And I'll be talking more about this in the next video. All right, guys, stay tuned. If you relate to any of what I have just said, please do comment below, share your story with us. We are here to support you. If you find that these videos are helpful, please share them. Please spread the news. It is time for us to help each other heal, to help each other integrate more of the light and the love of who we are. So when I talk about the people who we are, all of us are looking for love. What I wanted to say, all of us are looking for love, and the only absolute true unconditional love is the one we get from source, because none of us here on earth are ready to give yet this unconditional love, except maybe few that are getting there. We are getting there. We are getting there to our, if you want, absolute beauty and radiance and love. It is the journey of spiritual awareness where we will be moving into more love. So if you are looking for all this love, all this healing, you can only find it within yourself. When you connect to your divine self, you will feel and you will sense all the love that you are. And this love that you are, that is your higher self and your higher self and your guides and angels and family of light, will support you on your journey and will affirm that love and confirm it every day of your life. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. If you wish to be a guest in the series, to share your how awareness started with you, the awakening process started, please feel free to contact me. If you are on the healing journey and need this push, this little push, this help, you may contact me for one-on-one healing or coaching session. And if you simply wish to just share your wisdom and words via the comments, please do so. Sending you loads of love, and see you next video.